Hi, loves. Welcome to the Purpose Show podcast. This is a part 2 episode, and this is a particularly important one where you're going to want to listen to part 1. There's just a lot of foundation that I want you to have for this to really, like I always say, I don't want you to just listen to my podcast. I really want it to shift you. So if you have not listened to part 1, it is the episode previous to this. Go back and listen. I will put it in show notes. You can also just hit the back button, go to my show wherever you're listening, and listen to part 1 of Main Character Energy. There is a worksheet that is a part of this episode. It's totally free. AliCasasa.com/TPS links. Click the link that says Main Character Energy Worksheet, and it'll really help you implement this. It's really going to be supportive of you. So go get that. Listen to part 1 if you haven't already. And other than that, enjoy part 2. Okay, so let's shift into practicality. Practical things you can do to embody main character energy. You guys know I love daily rituals. I have them throughout my day, throughout my week. But how can you ritualize embodying the main character? One thing that so this actually came from my man. He taught me this when we first met, because we were talking about this, and he's actually been a big part of this journey and this process for me. But he pointed out to me that I would always say, like, I'm going to get ready for the day, or I got to show up for the day. I'm going to get ready for the day. And he was like, I think you should stop getting ready for the day and stop getting ready for the role and stop getting ready for the doing and just get ready for yourself and show up for yourself. And we were like, this was at a time where I was really struggling. When I met him, it was a very dark, difficult time in my life. And so I was really just vocal about this and working through this. And Sean has such I don't know what it is. It's like a presence. Like he just knows who he is, and he's unapologetically himself. And I really admire that. And so we talked about this a lot for the beginning and middle of our relationship. And so it was during this time. And when he said that, I was like, I totally get what you mean. And it shifted something in me. So I don't know if this will land with you like it landed with me, but I wanted to share it here in case it does. Show up for yourself, not the day. Get ready for yourself, not your day. Get ready for yourself, not your role that day. Not being a mom, not getting ready to even go somewhere. I don't even want to get ready for an event. I get ready for myself and how I want to feel when I show up in that room at the event. I get ready for myself and how I want to feel as I am moving through the house today, cleaning, getting ready for the week, answering emails, whatever it is. That shift was really powerful for me, and it's small, but see if that fits. See if that feels good to you. Can I show up for myself and get ready for myself instead of getting ready for the day? I'm not going to show up for other people. I'm not even going to show up for the kids. I'm going to show up for myself and how I want to feel as a mom today, and how I want to make the kids feel, and how that would feel to me to make them feel that way. And when you're pouring into yourself and giving for yourself, and then when you give out of yourself, it's such more like high quality time spent, high quality energy, high quality presence with your family, presence with your kids, presence when you go places. Like, it's such a small but massive shift. What would it look like to get yourself ready for the day in the morning, talking about ritualizing this? What would it look like to get yourself ready in the way that you need to? And yes, like skincare, getting ready for the day physically, whatever, sure. And that's part of it. But what about your energy? Like, what about your mental state? Like, this is why when we talk about the Becoming Her daily ritual, it's everything. It's 25 minutes. Like, everybody can do that. Everybody can do that. And none of it is physically getting ready. It's all your energy. It's all like clearing and making things better. It's preparation. It's activating that inner peace, that getting yourself into your parasympathetic nervous system instead of your sympathetic, where you're stressed out and in fight or flight and you're almost in survival mode. So many of us are like living in that place, and it's not good. You're not your best self. You're not even half of that. So what would it look like? What would that morning ritual look like for you? And if you don't know what the daily ritual is, there's an entire episode on it. And actually, if you go to that link I gave you guys at the beginning of part 1 of this, it's alexstrasza.com/TPS links. You can get the blueprint for the Becoming Her method, and the ritual is in there. And it literally will tell you what to do. And it will shift everything for you. I think another big part of practicality in this is in embodying main character energy is boundaries and self-respect. So I mentioned that I'm going to give you guys an EFT script for saying no. And again, that is at that link, alexstrasza.com/TPS links. And I'll say it again a million times because I want you guys to really want you to go there and get this stuff. I spend a lot of energy making these things for you. I never want you to just listen to my show. I want it to shift you. And I know I need to go a step further to make that shift happen for you. And that's why I do this, and that's why I make it all free. So please take advantage, please. But when you struggle with saying no, and you know that's the answer, like you know you need to say no, but you say yes. This is such an act of self-betrayal, and it is such a, like, I'm sorry, but like it is a kick to the nuts for your soul. Like it is so damaging and so painful at a soul level for you to continuously self-betray, self-suppress, and not prioritize what you need. So start saying no. Start setting those boundaries. Get to a place where you know yourself, understand yourself, like yourself, and respect yourself enough where you can say what you need to say. The last thing that I wanted to cover in terms of the practical section here is just like the fun, the lighter side of this, and that's dressing the part. How would you dress? How would you physically show up if you were stepping into your power? I talk about this all the time, and I used to talk about it a lot too, even in the decluttering days, because I'm in like one of my favorite sweatsuits right now. Okay, I wear sweatsuits a lot, and even these, like, I love them. They're flattering. They work for my shape. They work for my life. I feel really cute. They match. They look really cute with chunky tennies or like cute slides to just run out of the house, like. But even in coziness, like I show up for myself. I dress the part. I love putting myself together. I feel like an icon everywhere I go, and I love that. Even like my body and my tattoos, like I'm a work of art, and I made it like this. I love that. Like I'm literally so happy to put myself together. And I used to like hate my body, shame my body, resist my body, talk down to my body, want to cover up my body. I was taught to cover up my body. I was taught that was good and virtuous, and oh my God, fuck that. Now, like I am so in my power. And like I said in part 1, that's a symptom. This is a symptom of doing this energetic work. You will start to dress different. You will start to show up different. You will start to like, I wonder if I could just like elevate this with a little bit of gold jewelry. I'm going to go look online and buy some. I wonder if I could I want to look up how to do my hair like that. I really like her hair. I want to figure that out. And you do take the space and the mental space and the time to look into little things like that because you've shifted energetically. So how would you dress? How would you show up? And being overweight, being really unhealthy, like, how would you dress if you weren't? And do that now, and your body, your cells will respond to your mind and your energy, and it will be released. So how would you look? How would you dress? How would you take care of your skin? How would you take care of your hair? How would you style yourself? How would you present yourself physically to the world and for yourself? If you were really the main character, if you were in your power, fully embodying your next level self, and play with that, like imagine that, get creative with that. open yourself up to that. This is like, this exercise, I literally walked through this myself a few years ago. And this is where I was like, wow, I realize it is so deeply important for me to clear my skin. It is deeply important for me to take care of myself and feel like I'm aging well because I'm taking care of myself. It's deeply important for me to feel good and to feel stylish. It's important to me because I love myself now. And visualizing that version of myself is what really opened my eyes to that. And I remember writing down in my journal years ago, I was doing like a meditation and like a mastermind or something. And it was totally business themed, but this is what was coming up for me. I remember writing down in my journal, and I saw this recently when I was cleaning out some things and looking through old journals. And I wrote down, clear your skin so that you can wear a high ponytail and a cute pair of earrings. This matters to you and it's important. And I had written that down because one of the other girls in the group, like, she was just gorgeous. She was gorgeous. She had the dewiest, clearest skin. And I was so wanting that for myself. And I've shown you guys pictures before. I had these like massive, like bulbous cystic breakouts all over my face, like covered, bright red. You could put makeup on, or I could put makeup on, but it was just bumpy and it was awful. And I just remember admiring this girl, and she had the cutest chunky gold earrings on and like a ponytail, and she just looked so cute. And I was always hiding behind my hair. And sometimes I still do that because of scarring, but now, like, I just did this the other day. I went out to like a really nice restaurant with my parents and Brian and Sean, and I had my hair in a high slicked back ponytail and big chunky earrings, and I just felt so proud of myself and so good, because my scars are a reminder of that. They're a reminder of my story, and I've gotten to a place of self-love where that's okay. And I did what I needed to do to clear that, and I took care of myself. I cleared the energy that was causing those cystic breakouts. I did what I needed to do. I shifted my physical health and my stuff to take care of that, and I valued myself enough to figure that out. So what is that for you? What would change physically if you were in your power? And then you guys know I can't go through this without getting into like more of the energetics. So let's talk about like energy and visualization techniques, because like I explained in part 1 at the beginning of this, your imagination is probably the most powerful tool you have. I would say your voice and your thoughts are second to that, but your imagination is very powerful. What you repeatedly imagine, you are communicating to your subconscious mind. You are reprogramming, and you get what you are programmed for, okay? So if you're programmed to like, I'm a klutz, I'm always clumsy, I've always been clumsy. If there's a tree, I'll run into it. If there's a stair, I'll trip over it. Then you're going to. So this is why things like that will always happen to the same people, right? So whatever your programming is, that's what you're going to be getting. So when you imagine, you reprogram and you begin to attract and get different things, because you're quite literally shifting yourself at a programming level. So let's look at this. I want to do this with you in this episode live. How could you energetically shift into the main character? This is something that I do before I go live. This is something that I do before I record the show. This is definitely something I do. I even do this now before I even walk into a restaurant. And it's so funny because ever since I started doing this, I constantly, and I'm not just be like, oh my God, I constantly get stopped on the street. No, I constantly get stopped. And women mostly will tell me like, I just wanted to say, like, you are so beautiful. Your energy is so good. I just, like, you're breathtaking. I couldn't look away from you when you walked in. Like, they'll say something like that. And I know it's not the way I look. I know it's not, because I always looked like this. But it's my energy. The energetic shift happened. So before I do something, before I enter a space, whether it's digital, virtual, or a restaurant, or an actual event, or if I'm keynoting and speaking on stage in an event, or walking into, my favorite restaurant here down the street from my house, doesn't matter. I ground myself, I center myself, and I visualize my main character before I step into a space. So how do you ground yourself? I'm gonna give you something really simple that you can do right now, anywhere. You're going to put your feet flat on the floor. Okay, if you're sitting, like if I'll do this in the car, so when I'm sitting, my feet can't be flat on the floor because they're on the pedal and I'm driving. So I'll just sit and I imagine it from the base of my spine. The base of your spine is where your root chakra is. And even if you're not a chakra person, that's fine. Just know that that area of your body energetically is really important. So either put your feet on the ground and imagine this coming from the bottoms of your feet, or if you're sitting, from the base of your spine. Imagine there are red roots coming out from the bottom of your feet or out the base of your spine, and they are going into the earth, literally rooting you into the earth, connecting you with literally planet Earth. And almost like see like they're red and it's like hot, like there's heat, like you're so connected to what you're on. You're so grounded into the earth. And see this like red energy, this red like warm light kind of coming up through those roots and through the bottoms of your feet or through the base of your spine and up into the center of your body. And see it kind of circulating in your chest area and like just centering you. That's your energy. You're grounding. You're stabilizing. You are activating your parasympathetic nervous system. Bonus points, if you do this and you look up at like a 45-degree angle, like find a spot on the wall or find a spot wherever you are and look at a 45-degree angle and imagine this and take some deep breaths in through the nose and then out through the mouth. You literally you get out of survival mode and you get into a grounded, centered parasympathetic state. And you are grounded. You literally are grounded now. And then what I'll do, that just takes me a minute, and then I'll just kind of imagine, like I visualize the main character walking in, getting out of my car, walking into the restaurant, walking into the event. And then I shift the way I do things, even like when I get on calls now. Like I'm in a certification program right now. We have Zoom calls once a week. When I get in there, I'm doing this. I'm embodying my main character. And part of that for me, something that I've learned, is I say something in the group within the first 5 minutes. I establish authority, I establish presence, and I take up my space in that space. And I speak within the first 5 minutes so that it's not awkward later to like, oh, hey, I forgot I'm here. Like, I have something to say. I speak right away and I establish my presence. So these new things, like these new ideas and new, like, not power moves, but empowered moves have come from me doing this before I enter a space, whether it's Zoom or in person. So ground, center, visualize the main character, you, walking into the space, and embody her as you're going in. How do you want to show up when you go to this event? How do I want to show up when I go to this family party? And not how do I want them to see me? How do I want to feel? How do I want to show up in this family gathering? How do I want to show up at dinner with my kids tonight? How do I want to show up when I walk into this meeting and when I walk into this event, whatever it is? And then, of course, there's manifestation and embodiment. So visualizing that next level version of yourself and letting yourself, like, if you're in the collective, go in there in the resources. There are so many guided visualizations that are specific to this that'll help you tap in to the next level version of you. So visualize that, meditate on it, get connected to her, and then embody her daily. I don't know if you guys know what the law of assumption is, but it's basically like what you assume, you receive. So if you assume the identity of your higher self, it brings that version of you into reality. You can literally, because quantum physics tells us that everything is happening all the time at the same time, right? We've invented time because our minds are linear, but that's not actually how things happen. So you can quite literally shift timelines and shift into a different version of yourself, and that's what becoming her is all about. You're shifting to a different version of yourself. So that's what the law of assumption is. You assume it's going to happen. You assume you are this version of yourself now. And girl, you fucking are, because you just decided. You don't need to lose the weight. You don't need to go shopping and buy all the new outfits yet. You don't need to clear your skin yet. You don't need to have the better relationship yet. You don't need to find the man yet. You don't need to have the friend group yet. You can be that version of yourself now. You are the one. You're the shift. You're the queen. You are the one that makes the decision. You're the one that makes shit happen. Those things will be magnetized to you because of the shift you made first. in terms of your mindset, this is how you've operated, shrinking yourself down, playing small. This is how you've operated for a very long time, most likely. It's your programming. It's your go-to. You naturally, unfortunately, when you go into a room, you're shrinking yourself. You're self-aware in a timid, disempowered way, right? This is your programming. So reprogram. There's something called neural energetic wiring, and this is what I do. And I have consultations. They're currently like $99. I'll put the link at TPS links for you, okay? But book a consultation and let's see what your programming is. I can access your subconscious mind, find your programming. Go on my Instagram. The link is in my bio. Go to the TPS links. I'll put it there for you as well. Show notes. I'll put it everywhere. But let's access what's going on with you and create a plan for what needs to be programmed out and what needs to be programmed in for you to literally rewire yourself to be this different version of you. You can't do this based on motivation or willpower. It won't work. Those things are too fleeting. You have to shift at a programming level, and that is what I do. And then affirmations won't work if you're not really doing the energy work, if you're not doing other things. You really have to feel them, but they are an incredible addition to all these things I'm saying. So, let's do this right now together. Put your hand on your heart if you are able to, and just repeat after me. I am worthy of being seen and heard. I take my place in this world. I take up space in this world. I embrace my power and step into it fully. My needs and desires are important and valid. Like when you really feel that and you're doing this energetic work and you're rewiring yourself and you're visualizing this and you're really shifting yourself and you're saying these things while you get ready in the morning or while you're driving somewhere, like that's big. That changes things big time. I know most of the people that listen to my show are mothers, so I did want to also add a note that like you are not the exception to this because you're a mom, because you're raising kids, and because of how society assumes things about you, what it assumes about you, what people expect of you has nothing to do with you, and it's none of your damn business. You need to focus on how you want to show up and how you want to feel. Embodying main character energy is so good for your kids to see from you. It is going to only positively impact them. You can undo like generations and centuries of pain and anti-feminism and anti-woman programming by being a main character mom, being a main character woman who is also raising children. Show them what that looks like. Like we have to stop showing them that being a mom is what everyone says it is. We have to stop or it's never going to stop. To be a cycle breaker, to be a chain breaker, you have to break your own. Prioritize yourself, prioritize your well-being, teach them self-respect and self-love by modeling. I would never want my daughter to show up as a mom, to show up for any children she may have the way society expects, the way that I did for many years. But I would definitely want her to show up the way I am lately, for sure. I want you to get into the energy of curiosity when it comes to being a mom and figuring this out. I want you to get curious about what would it look like for me to balance like being a woman and also raising my kids? What would it look like to be balanced between being a mother and maintaining my identity as an individual person, as a soul on fire, as a wild, wonderful woman? What would that look like? What would it look like to not lose myself? What would it look like to get myself back? Integrate main character energy in how you mom, how you are in that space in your life. All right. Let's wrap this up with some reflection, and I want to give you guys some homework and some practicality. Again, please, before we do that, allycasazza.com/TPS links. I'm just keeping everything I mentioned on the show there. It is literally, quite literally, just a list of links mentioned on the Purpose Show, okay? Homework. I want you to take one very practical, tangible step today, tonight, whenever you're listening to this, to embody main character energy. Whether it's dressing up for yourself and shifting that energy, or setting a boundary that needs to be set, or maybe it's simple. Maybe it's just affirming your worth, and then you do something else tomorrow. But one tangible step today. And then I want you to also reflect on this question. Where have I been playing small? Where have I been shrinking myself? And how can I start showing up as the main character in my life? Go get the main character worksheet. It is so good. It's going to take all of this and really just break it down into prompts for you, and I will put it at that link for you. And then again, that EFT video on saying no. allycasazza.com/TPS links. I love you guys. You're the main character of your own damn life. You got this.